Hello everybody, in this video we will discuss word problems that lead to equations and then we will solve them. Example 1. Peter has 3 rand more than John, who has X rand. Together they have 15 rand. Determine the amount John has. Now what you do is you will have to make a summary. So you go to the information, the words, and you have to now decide what information was given. We'll start by making John's money X. And then Peter has 3 rand more. That translates to X plus 3. Together they have 15 rand, and that is what's going to give you your equation. You say John plus Peter equals 15. And now we know that John was X, so in John's place you substitute X, and Peter was X plus 3. In Peter's place you substitute X plus 3. So now we can solve our equation. First, we will add like terms. X plus X is 2x plus 3 is equal to 15. And now that equation is familiar. We will get rid of plus 3 by taking the additive inverse, which is negative 3, and we will subtract both sides by negative 3. So on the left, plus 3 minus 3 will cancel, and on the right 15 minus 3 is 12. Then we don't want to solve 2x, we want to solve x. So we have to get rid of this 2 in front of x. How do we get rid of that? We will divide both sides by 2. So that we can say 2 goes in itself once, 2 goes in itself once. On the left, you will be left with x, and on the right, 2 goes in itself once, 2 goes into 12, 6 times. Therefore, x is equal to 6. But you can't stop there because the question said, determine the amount that John has. So now you just have to say that John was X, therefore John has 6 rand. Let's do another example. Jan has 5 more CDs than Peter, and Peter has 6 more than Simpiwe. Altogether, they have 47 CDs. Determine how many CDs Jan has. So first of all, let's do the summary. Let Simpiwe have X CDs because we don't have a lot of information about Simpiwe. What we do know is Peter, from the words, has 6 more than Simpiwe. Therefore, Peter is X plus 6. And then Jan has 5 more than Peter. Therefore, Jan will be Peter's X plus 6 plus 5. If you look at this, this is 5, the plus 5 is 5 more than Peter. And then we can now make our equation from the information. Altogether, they have 47 CDs. So therefore, we can say Simpiwe plus Peter plus Jan is equal to 47. Now we substitute. In Simpiwe's place, we substitute X. In Peter's place, we substitute X plus 6. And in Jan's place, we substitute X plus 6 plus 5. And we equate it to 47. Now there's your equation. Let's solve the equation. So first we have to add the like terms. On X, we say X plus X plus X will give you 3X. And then on the numbers, the constant terms, 6 plus 6 is 12 plus 5 is 17. equals 47. Now we will solve x. We will get rid of the plus 17, and then we find the additive inverse for plus 17 is minus 17. So both sides we will subtract 17. Then we can say plus 17 minus 17 will cancel, and on the right 47 minus 17 is 30. Then we want to solve x, so we will divide away the 3 both sides, and x is equal to 10. Remember, that's not the answer, because the question was determine how many CDs Jan has. So we'll go back to Jan. Here on the left hand side, Jan was x plus 6 plus 5. Therefore, in x's place we substitute 10. We calculated that value. So 10 plus 6 plus 5. Therefore, Jan has 21 CDs. Before we continue, have you subscribed yet? Or you can like this video, and better yet, please tell your friends about my channel. Let's continue. Let's do another example. Jenny's father is twice as old as she is. Together they are 63 years old. How old is Jenny? What you do is you make Jenny's age x, and then the father is twice as old as she is. That translates to 2x. And then now here comes the equation. Together they are 63 years old. Therefore, we can say Jenny plus her father equals 63. Jenny was x and the father 2x equals 63. And there's your equation. Now you can add your like terms on the left. X plus 2x is 3x is equal to 63. And let's solve x. So we'll get rid of the 3, the coefficient in front of the variable, in front of x. So we will divide by 3 both sides. And then we'll say 3 goes in itself once, 3 goes in itself once. So on the left we'll be left with x. And on the right hand side, 3 goes in itself once, 3 goes into 63 21 times. Therefore, x is 21. But you can't stop there, because the question specifically said, how old is Jenny? So now you have to say, Jenny was x, therefore she's 21 years old. The length of a rectangle is 3 meters more than twice the width of the rectangle. The perimeter of the rectangle is 48 meters. Determine the length of the rectangle. Now there's your rectangle. Let's start. Let's call the width B, and now the length, we'll have a close look at that. The length of a rectangle is 3 meters more. That means plus 3. Alright, but it's 3 meters more than twice the width. Can you see what I did here on length? I said, remember the width is this one. So the width was the B, and then the length is twice the width. Therefore, 2 times B plus 3. And the plus 3 was the 3 meters more than twice the width of the rectangle. And that's your information. Now, let's make an equation. The perimeter of the rectangle is 48 meters. You have to know the formula for the perimeter of a rectangle, and that is perimeter equals 2 length plus 2 width. Now we can substitute. In perimeter's place, we substitute the 48 equals 2 length. And remember, we said the length was 2b plus 3. And there I substituted in plus 2 the width. And remember, the width we assigned a b to the width. Now we want to solve this equation, but there's this bracket that we have to get rid of. So we will multiply in the 2 using the distributive property of multiplication. Therefore, 48 on the left hand side is equal to 2 times 2b is 4b, and 2 times plus 3 is 6. And then there's your 2b, it writes with. And now, before you can solve b, we will add like terms on the right hand side, where we will say 4b plus 2b is 6b, and then there's your plus 6. And now we can solve b. So we will get rid of the plus 6 by taking the additive inverse of plus 6, which is minus 6, and we will subtract 6 both sides. Then plus 6 minus 6 is nothing, and on the left hand side 48 minus 6 is 42, is equal to 6b. And then we can solve b, so we want to get rid of this 6 in front, the coefficient of b. Therefore we will divide both sides by 6. So we will say 6 goes in itself once, 6 goes in there once. 6 goes in there once, 6 goes into 42 7 times. Therefore, b's value is 7. But that's not the answer, because the question was determine the length of the rectangle. So if we go back to the left hand side here, the length was 2b plus 3. So now we know b's value. We calculated it was 7. So remember the rules for substitution. You use a bracket. Therefore, it's 2 bracket 7 plus 3. And bracket means multiplication. So we can say 2 times 7 is 14 plus 3. Therefore, the length is equal to 17 meters. Thank you for watching my videos. Remember, I prepared the whole syllabus and all the videos are on my channel. This is Miss Pythagoras signing off. Till next time.